So a nice little secret that I learned when I started day trading is that I could be right even when I was wrong day trading. And that actually kind of flipped the script for me when I was trying to learn how to day trade. We're offering one-on-one coaching sessions that will help you get more than accelerated on your journey of day trading. This is an actual skill that even a child can learn. You see, once under your belt, this becomes a life-changing money-making skill that will never go away. So as you watch the following video, think about being able to change your family's life by putting in the effort to learn something new. In today's day and age, everything is at your fingertips, and that means it's also all in your hands what you want to be. The only question is, how bad do you want it? Enjoy the rest of the video. Take this chart for example. You see price starts off being bullish, it gets to its peak, and then goes back to the sell side, bearish. Once we get right here, what could potentially happen? Well, let's think about it. Price could continue in its downward trajectory and just continue to go lower, right? Or it could flip and go back to the highs that it came from. Typically, that's what we're used to, right? Price does this, goes from lows to high to low to high, right? It goes from buy side to sell side liquidity right here. So price could definitely do that, but it could also do this. It could do a slight pullback, and then it can continue to the sell side trajectory. And that's sometimes what's happened. So in this play, I was looking for that. I was actually looking for a continuation in the sell side, but price actually ended up going higher and higher. And over time, it went back to those highs, and right now we're at all-time highs. Now, I took 2 trades that day. Both of them were right. Both of them were sells, and I made over maybe $3,000 that day on a combined total of 2 trades. So how did I do that? Well, I'm going to show you in this video, and I'm going to show you how to be right even when you're wrong in the market. And it's going to be utilizing a concept that you might have already heard of, but it's liquidity. If you can really tap into your knowledge of liquidity, it's going to change the game for you altogether. And you're going to really know how to trade and become profitable just using this simple concept. So with that, let's jump into the video, and I'm going to explain this all to you guys, and I'm going to show you live recordings of me in the trade that I'm talking about here. So I hope you guys enjoy, and with that, let's hop right in. So the crazy thing about this is it's so simple. We're on the 15-minute time frame, and sometimes what happens is we see price kind of just plummet, right? It plummets down to our key level, a zone that we are interested in, and then we're expecting to just take the buys just to immediately see it go higher. But sometimes that does not happen. You see, we do eventually go higher, like we mentioned, right? But that was over time, over a span of maybe like three weeks, we go back to the buy side. In reality, price sometimes does pullbacks and then falls back lower. So let's take a look at the 5-minute time frame once we approach this level. So as we approach this level, we see price dug deep into this fair value gap. But what I see here in this particular situation, that price does not actually push all the way through. It doesn't send all the way past this fair value gap and completely push past it. That stands out to me, and that's one thing that stands out to me. The other thing is, for a good 5 minutes, price tries to descend lower, but then it ends up ultimately going to the buy side. And for another 5 minutes and another 15 minutes at this point, we create a nice little block here. Price was bullish and it continues to this area. But what I see is that for the next 15 minutes to 20 minutes, price sends lower and we don't go back to the previous lows over here. So now we have our sell side liquidity, right? And then we have the most recent high that we created, creating our buy side up here. What I'm going to be looking for is price to revisit this area. Now, once it revisits this area, I'm going to start looking for some shorts because this is liquidity purged. Now, I'm not going to hop in indiscriminately, right? Because look at where we are. Price has been sending lower and we have sent lower. So ultimately, we could be going back to the buy side. So I have to be careful here. I have to watch for more liquidity being purged. Now, what stands out the most are the wicks that we create. You see this wick over here, right? But there's also a wick over here as well, and then a wick over here. So all of these are wicks, and these are like little spots that price goes to, and it's going to ultimately return to. So what I looked for was price to return back to this level. It wicked past this level. And before we even talk about that, what happens every time we wick to an extremity? Well, price goes back lower. This area, we wick up here and then it sends lower. We wick right here, sends lower. We wick over here and then we send lower. Again here, and then we send lower. Now, that's standing out to me. So I'm watching for us to, again, wick past some of these areas and for it to wick with some type of, reason for me. It has to make sense, right? So if I'm watching this, price is going down and I'm looking for shorts. I'm seeing price come down here. We start to make some strong bullish candlesticks right here. We make a solid bottom right here and price isn't reaching for these lows anymore. So I have to be careful. I'm not going to enter into a short right there. Then I see price continue to go to the buy side. We get a strong push up higher. I'm not going to be looking for any shorts right here. I'm not going to be entering shorts, but my eyes are keen because we took out an extremity over here and we took out this extremity. So if I wanted to, I could enter right here after this, but what I ended up doing was waiting a little bit longer. So I watched for price to take out another level of an extremity and then another one up here, and price ultimately sent it lower. So I'll put that on the screen to show you guys that this trade played out right here and it was a great profit. And we didn't have to risk much at all really because of where we saw price go to. Again, ultimately price is going to the buy side, but we're taking shorts and we are right, even though price is wrong. No, price isn't wrong, obviously, but even though we were wrong, we were right and made about $1,000 on this trade. And then again, we had another trade where price did the same thing. We went for some extremities again. Look what the story was for me. Whenever we wick up, like we said over here, we wick up, we wick up, we wick up. After a wick up like this, we go back down. We at least reach previous lows. We try to make an effort to reach those previous lows. We don't get it all the way, but we still make an effort to it. So if I'm entering up here and my profit is all the way down here, if I'm going to be watching this trade happen, I'm going to be, risking less and less and moving my stops downwards as price goes down with it. So that's ultimately what I did. So again, you'll see the trade on the screen as I'm talking most likely, but we did that over here. Price wicked up here and then went down. Little trades like these are the game changers, really, because let's be real. Sometimes we'll enter a trade right here and we won't have the patience to wait for price to get all the way back up to its previous highs. If you look at this was from 1330, so 1:30 p.m. or so. And then by the time it came back to these previous highs, we're talking about the next day. It's the next day at around 5 p.m. or so. So that's not going to always be feasible for everybody to stick around and wait for. But when we see something that really makes sense to us, that's how we can enter. And these are 5-minute candlesticks, right? So it's not as if we're just going in for quick scalps, right? These are, trades that maybe take, you know, some time. This one was relatively fast because this is probably around a 10-minute trade towards the end of this range over here. But if we're looking at this right here, from this level, right, to this level right here, we're talking about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes right there for a trade. But to make $1,000 to $3,000 just on that move, that's great. So that's basically it. Liquidity can be a real big game changer, especially when you know how to use it, and especially when you use it in conjunction with fair value gaps as well. Remember, we're trading off of this 1 hour fair value gap. This is our key level that we saw price come into. So keep that in mind. And yeah, you know, try that, back test it, look at different ways that it showed up on your charts. And I promise you, after making sure that you master this concept, it's going to make all the difference in your trades. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, you'll probably see the trades happening on the screen. Please leave a like and subscribe if you found any value in this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. If you also want to be able to trade with me, go ahead and check out the links in the description. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.